last week it was rough. Reading game conversation, seeing how everybody was. It's tough not being a part of the team. And I talked to Coach Burr a few times about it. That was the main thing he wanted to put in my mind. How it's a privilege to be on the team. And definitely city fans. It's tough.
How difficult though was it not to sit on the sidelines and watch the other guys practice?
I mean, I don't like sitting on the sidelines at all. Period. But it was not fun at all. It sucks.
Steven, can you understand if there are fans or even coaches or teammates that are frustrated because they keep hearing about this sort of thing? I mean, can you understand?
Yeah, I can definitely understand. I mean, it's been a kind of bumpy 5 years since I've been here, but I got to stick with them. They've stuck with me throughout this whole 5 years for the most part, and I got a lot of respect for everybody.
You're obviously a warrior on game day. Obviously, your teammates, they're going to take you, everything about you basically to go to battle.
Yeah, I mean that's why I love this team. Everybody's got a lot of support for everybody on this team, and I got 100,000 phone calls from everybody on the team. Saying don't worry about it. Just get ready. We're going to be ready for you next week. It's a family here, and I'm very happy to be here.
Having said that, what is your relationship with the head coach after this?
I mean, I think it's a lot better. We had a few conversations on the phone, and he told me what he expects. It's always been like that. It's going to be a competitive, nature, and I knew that coming in, and that's why I came here.
Can this be a positive thing for you? Can this be a positive thing? You've been able to turn negatives into positives in the past. Any different?
I've developed a kind of skill for that, I guess.
Steven, use the word bumpy. You pointed the finger at yourself.
Definitely. Every single thing that I've done has been my fault. I can't blame anybody else at all.
Coach Mangus said that he wanted you to put the pedal to the metal the last 9 months. What does that mean?
Do what?
Coach Mangus said he wanted you to put the pedal to the metal for the last 9 months. What does that mean to you? What do you need to do this last 9 months to close it out?
Eat, sleep, drink, and think about football, nothing else but football. And that's what I'm doing. And I started, as soon as that game was over, that was a tough game to swallow. And I worked really hard in the off season in the winter workouts, and the players voted me as one of the leaders on the team. So we're ready to get this 2011 season started.
What happened? Does the haircut have anything to do with what's happened?
Not at all. Coach Sprayer gave me a list of suggestions, about 10 or 12 of them, and one of them was to cut my hair. And it's time for me to do it anyway.
Can you tell some of the other suggestions?
No, no. It's pretty confidential. I took them to heart.
What happened at the bowl game?
The actual game?
No, it led to the suspension.
I don't really want to get into that. It's kind of a in-house deal, and it's just going to leave it at that. We handled it. It was 3 months ago, and it's kind of distracting, talking about it still. But
there may be a perception though that it affected your performance in the game. Can you kind of put that to rest?
Yeah, not at all. It did not affect anything at all.
When
the turnovers just killed us. That's why we lost that game.
When were you informed by Coach Burr you're going to have to miss the first week?
We had a team meeting on Monday, and he talked to me and Clifford and told us that he's going to talk with some of the coaches and figure out what he wants to do. And he called me Tuesday morning and left a voicemail. When I got that voicemail, I kind of had to let it sink in, and I couldn't really talk to him or call him back at that time just because I was so distraught. And I talked to him later that night and talked about it.
So the jury had been out for 3 months, basically, as what was going to happen discipline-wise.
Yeah.
Did you think that it was gone? Were you surprised that there was discipline at that point? Did you think whatever happened was done and in the past?
I thought so, but it's Coach's team, and I'm playing on his team, and it is what it is. And I accepted the fact that I got suspended, and had to move on. I'm ready for this year.
So are you having to work back in the ones? I mean, what's the situation now with you and Connor?
Probably the same thing it was last spring. He's giving him a lot of reps. He's giving Dylan a lot of reps. Giving Clifford a lot of reps. That's the nature of football. And Coach Burr, it's always competitive, trying to get the other player better. So I'm looking forward to it. Same thing as it was last spring.
Of those 10 or 12 suggestions he gave you, going to try to do all of them?
Oh yeah, got to.
Sprayer said, maybe it was last week, that basically you've been pretty well behaved the past couple of months. I mean, do you feel pretty confident this is the last time you'll be answering questions like this as you go in your
Yeah, for sure. For sure, definitely.
Steven, from observing the wide receivers while you were sitting out and then practicing today, who stands out maybe as a second receiver or somebody step up behind Alshon? That's been a lot of talk about who's going to step up and be that second go-to wide receiver.
I think we have several guys actually. You know, D'Angelo Smith is playing pretty well since I've been out here, and you know, Lamar Scruggs is doing some good things. So you know, you never know. I think if we put them in the game, I mean, if they get a firm grasp of the offense, I think they could definitely be some solid backups for him. I mean, I've never seen him play, but I've heard a lot about him. You know, that'd be awesome to have him out here. I guess coming out in June or whenever he's allowed to by the NCAA. So we'll see.
Stephen, is it frustrating that you've had so many starts and you're still not entrenched as the starter coming into your senior year?
No, it doesn't really bother me. You know, it's competition. That's football. I'm not worried about it at all.